Hi there. So when you say influencer, entrepreneur, CEO, president, business owner, we're talking about the same thing here. We're talking about leadership. If your job is to be the tip of the spear, whether it's as the CEO of a Fortune 100 company or as the operator or owner of your own solo business, I want to share a few things you need to succeed in the next decade. You might not see it yet, but the world is changing really, really quickly, and your leader brand was never more important. And I'm going to share a few areas of focus which will put you ahead of the tsunami of change that we're going to see in the next decade. So I want to introduce you to the idea of Web3. You've probably heard this term, but I want to burrow down into what this actually means for a moment. So just imagine where we are with Web3 is very similar to how we were in the late 90s, when you could buy a magazine with a floppy drive that would get you access to dial-up internet. This is where we are right now with the whole new version of the web. So what do I mean by that? We have 5G internet coming down the line. Now what that means is a whole new hyper-connected world, high speed, and I'm talking very high speed everywhere we go. Virtual reality becomes a reality. Augmented reality becomes everyday reality. We're talking about whole new levels of privacy. Data being genuinely democratized. You own your own data. You can own other data. Not just rent it, actually own it and control it. We're talking about things like whole new ways to deal with the creative sector, with things like the ownership of virtual assets, things like NFTs. We're talking about cryptocurrency, things like remote working, as we're seeing now, becoming not just a new normal, but the normal, and all the issues that there are around it. We're going to be living in a hyper-connected, super democratized and decentralized world. Now, what this means is it's a fundamentally different place. A lot of the things that we used to do, we can't do anymore because of the personalization and the privatization of data. It belongs to me. You can't collect it anymore. It's mine. You need my permission. What that means is marketers can't target customers the way they used to. It's going to be impossible. So what does this mean for businesses? What does it mean for people like me and people like you? What does it mean if you're running your own small business or you're the CEO of a massive organization? It means some profound change is coming, and some profound adaptation is going to be needed in order to stay competitive and to stay effective. So where does your leader brand come into this, your personal brand as a leader? By engaging in leader brand, you offer an antidote to the problems that potentially come down the line with Web3, and you position yourself for success with all the new opportunities that come with Web3. So what do I mean? If you show up for your people, you can cultivate cause. You can embrace visibly a mission. You can become a genuine leader to a tribe. You provide true motivation. You embody that company's why. You may do all of these things, but you need to articulate it, you need to embody it, you need to visibly demonstrate it. Like the maths teachers used to say, you need to show me your workings. Don't tell me how you got to the result. Take me on the journey with you. If you run an organization, then your visibility within that organization, particularly as things become more distributed and democratized, becomes extremely important. You're no longer the administrative figurehead. You're the cultural figurehead. That's really important. Without that, employees feel abandoned when they're remote. They become a commodity. Nobody wants to be a commodity. There's no loyalty in commodities. The teams then become transient. They become susceptible to poaching for a little bit more money. They become mercenary. So if you want to rally a team behind you, then your leader brand becomes really important in this new economy. Externally, if you don't embrace it, your customers are going to become very hard to reach. They're going to be very expensive to reach. They're going to be wholly price conscious, and there will be no loyalty. With LeaderBrand, you give them a place to belong. You give them a reason to be loyal. You give them someone to support. People connect with people, and as we become increasingly virtual, increasingly dependent on artificial intelligence, genuine connection will be the currency that separates you from your competitors. So it begins with LeaderBrand, but it rolls through your whole organization, internally and externally, but it needs visible leadership. If the last decade was the decade of content, the coming decade is the decade of connection. Belonging is the new point of difference. It's the new currency. And with more choice than ever, it's getting hard, almost to the point of impossibility to target customers effectively. It will become clear that the company creating and maintaining the strongest sense of belonging will win. A leader brand and leader branding and personal branding within your organization is a quality your whole organization needs to learn to embrace. But the reason I call it leader brand is because it has to start at the top. It needs visible leadership. And as the saying goes, great leaders don't tell you what to do, they show you what to do. And if you embody leader brand in your business, you will be set with a tremendous advantage for the coming decade, because I promise you everything is about to change, and hopefully you'll be ahead of the tsunami instead of swallowed by it. So I hope you found this useful. If you do find the idea of leader brand challenging, I urge you, go and have a look through some of my other videos. It's something I've found extremely difficult, and I continue to work on every day. If you'd asked me would I be making YouTube videos 2 years ago, I would have laughed you out of the room. But if I'd been doing a podcast, if I'd be 200 episodes in and speaking to some of my biggest heroes, I would have thought you were crazy. Becoming visible, becoming hyper visible is something that's achievable by anyone. And if you want to pick a video which one to do next, I would say pick my video marketing confidence video. Is a great place to start. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then I would love for you to subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button, and if you do, also hit the bell. That way YouTube will notify you every time I post new videos, which is normally every Wednesday. My name is Bob Gentle. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.